So what's on your credit report? Okay, we're gonna break that down, all the different items that you'll see when you pull your own credit in today's training. Hey everyone, it's Mike Adams, and on this channel we empower individuals to achieve freedom through improved financial literacy and business ownership. If you're new to the channel, make sure to click subscribe and click the bell so that way you get notified on any and all of our future content. So in today's video, guys, we're going to be discussing what is on your credit report, okay? And so, what are the items that are on there? Okay, so that way, when you pull your own credit, you'll know what to expect when you're looking at it. And also as well, you'll know what the lenders are going to see. Okay, so many times I've worked with folks that, they don't know about their credit, they don't know their credit score, they don't know what's on their credit report, and they walk into a dealership thinking, well, hey, I've been paying my bills on time, I should be able to, get this loan, or I should be able to qualify, and then, they're unable to qualify because, again, they weren't aware that some things were actually in or on their credit report. So in this video, I want to really just break down the 5 things that end up going on your credit report so that way you are in the know and totally prepared. So the first thing that you'll see on your credit report is your personal data or your personal information, okay? So this will be items like your name, your address, whether your date of birth, okay? Whether or not you're employed, okay? It may even have the address of your current or former employer. Whether or not you are married. So your personal data is definitely going to end up on your credit report. This is the information that identifies that this report is for you, right? It has to match. Whenever a company requests your credit, they're going to put in a bunch of your personal information, and it has to match. When they send that query into the big old database, it's got to match a certain amount of factors for it to actually show up on your report. Okay, so your personal data and making sure that your personal data is accurate is a very, very important key. So the second thing that you'll see on your credit report is all of your accounts and trade lines. Okay, and you may not see all of them. Not all companies report to all bureaus, okay? That's for another video. But the bottom line is you're gonna see the majority of your accounts and trade lines. And this is where, we're talking about your car loans, your student loans, your credit cards, your mortgage, if you have any types of other installment or real estate loans, okay? That's all gonna be included in this section. And it's going to just contain information like the balance, the payment history, with you in that account, and mainly, whether you are on time with your payments and on time as scheduled, or if there's been any late payments or any major derogatories with that particular account. So that'll all be included on your credit report. Now, the third thing you'll see on your credit report are any collection accounts. And so if you've had any accounts, whether it's a line or a loan that went into collections due to non-payment, and typically it's not going to go into collections until after 90 days late. Okay, so 30 days late, 60, then 90. After 90 is typically where that company's going to give up and then try to sell your debt to a collection agency who's going to come after you for that debt. Okay, so any accounts that go to collections will show up on your credit report more times than not. Obviously, not everyone is required to report, but most of them do because they're wanting your attention. They want to be on your report because they want you to take care of them and try to deal with them, okay? And just a couple of notes with this, items stay on your report for up to 7 years. So any collection accounts, whether or not it is paid off in full, if it went to collections, it's going to be a negative ding, on your credit for up to 7 years. Typically, it's going to go all the way 7 years. With a major derogatory like that. Now, for starters, we want to make sure that we're paying all of our bills on time, every time, not carrying a balance, things like that. But certainly if you get yourself into trouble and you're maintaining a balance and you're having to make payments and now you're late, just understand that, a 30-day late, minor derogatory. Once you start getting to 90 days and beyond, you're in effect taking the chance of getting a major derogatory on your credit report, which will have lasting damage for 7 years. So the fourth thing that you'll see on your credit report is public records. Okay, so anything that is public knowledge. This is where some of the rough stuff is going to show, because if you've had a bankruptcy, okay, or a foreclosure, or repossessions can sometimes be made public, and that information will be retained by the bureaus and will show up on your credit report. And it's all very, very, very damaging. Okay, the public records section. anything that shows up on your report as a public record is viewed as negative. Because again, this is where, we're talking about tax liens, whether you owe state taxes, federal taxes, maybe you're making payments back to the government, right? You owe taxes, you're making payments. Well, that's going to show up as a public record. If you have an actual tax lien, that's going to show up as a public record and show up on your credit report, damaging your score. So obviously we want to have as close to zero as possible when it comes to public records. And the fifth thing that you'll see on your credit report are any of your credit inquiries, okay? So whenever you are applying for credit, well, maybe you're sitting down at the car dealership and they want to run your numbers and see what they can get you qualified for. Well, once you do that, that's going to create what's called an inquiry, or somebody is pinging the database, inquiring about your credit. So inquiries, now, can they damage your credit? Yes. Now, do you want a lot of inquiries in a short period of time? No. Okay, what they're really tracking is inquiries over the last 24 months. And so the higher the number inside of that 24 months will have an impact on your credit score. So you do want to keep those inquiries as low as possible. And certainly, and we have other videos on this channel where we talk about, the reasons why you'd want to open a line of credit or use a line of credit, having a reason, things like that. And I'll link to that video below this training. And there's really two types of inquiries. There's a hard inquiry, and that's where you're applying for something because you want something, right? If you're applying to buy a house, or you're applying for a credit card, or you're applying because you want to buy a car, right? You're going to benefit from that. So because you want something, right? They want to get you qualified for it. That's going to be a hard inquiry on your credit. And again, those are going to stay on there for up to 24 months. A soft inquiry is where, let's say, and maybe you've had this experience where you got a credit card and then all of a sudden your credit card company says, hey, we would like to increase, we're going to up your credit line because, you've just had good credit lately and you're taking care of this line of credit here, and they want to bump up your line. Chances are what they did is they did a soft pull. Okay, where they did, let's say, an account review on you, said, hey, your credit's looking good, we're going to offer you some more credit. Okay, and so those soft inquiries do not count against you. Another example would be if you're checking your own credit. Like, let's say you're working on your credit and you go to, I don't want to name drop any websites, but let's say you go to a certain website and you want to check your own credit scores or check your own credit. That's also going to count as a soft pull and not count against you. Okay, so it's, again, the hard inquiries over the last 24 months that can, if you have too many of them, impact your credit negatively. So there you go, guys. Those are the 5 things that you'll see on your credit report. You will see your personal data. You will see your accounts and your trade lines. Any collection accounts that, if they exist, unfortunate, but they will show up on your credit report. Your public records will show up on your credit report. And then as well, any inquiries where you are applying for new credit. So either way, guys, those are the 5 things that you'll see on your credit report. Hopefully you found value in this training. If you did, make sure to give this video a comment, give it a like below, and I will see you in the next video.